We are reviewing the premiere of Picard Season 3, The Next Generation, starting now. Welcome to the Nerd Social. I am Nathan.
And I'm Chandra.
Hey, so as I said, the title of this episode is The Next Generation, or Part 1, The Next Generation, written by Terry Matalas and directed by Doug Aarniokoski. So the spoiler-free logline provided to us by Paramount is, after receiving a cryptic, urgent distress call from Dr. Beverly Crusher, Admiral Jean-Luc Picard enlists help from generations old and new to embark on one final adventure, a daring mission that will change Starfleet and his old crew forever. So, Chandra, what do you think of this start of Season 3 spoiler-free, of course?
So it was pretty reminiscent of the premiere episode for season 2. I think it started setting high expectations, and we already knew that a lot of the cast of the Star Trek Next Generation would be returning. So I think there was just a lot of anticipation in seeing how they would show up, what situation they were going to be embroiled in. But yeah, I enjoyed the episode and was just glued, like hooked in to see what this season brings. And that's, I guess, is spoiler free. But yeah, it did not disappoint.
Yeah, it was a really good episode. So it's hard to talk about this in isolation because we got 6 episodes, and I, for one, really couldn't stop watching after like the second episode. I kind of just kept watching.
It's okay to say that. Huh? It's okay to say that we get the screeners.
Yeah. I mean, we're dropping these reviews like at midnight or shortly after midnight. I think we've discussed before that we get screeners before. But I do have my notes from this episode specifically, and yeah, this episode was a really good start. All the Kurtzman era shows are very beautifully shot, but I think it's like the new Titan A, which shows up in this episode, which has showed up in the trailer, so not much of a spoiler. Looks beautiful. The cast here is great. I will say that, if you don't want any spoilers at all, I'll say that Riker shows up in this episode. And also, the spoiler-free line also mentions that Beverly shows up in this episode.
Yeah.
They're doing a really good job. I was actually thinking about this earlier today before we started reviewing. This is the best I've seen Beverly in all of TNG. I mean, she had 2 episodes that were like off to herself, like the weird episode where her grandmother was possessed by like a weird ghosty thing that
visited by
and had like an affair with that. That was a weird episode. Like there's a lot of hate for that episode. It's not the worst, but it's not great. And then the bubble episode when she was like in a bubble universe, it was like the only 2 episodes that she really got, but she really gets some good stuff in this episode. Yeah, and the Riker and Picard banter back and forth was just like back in the day. So we'll get into it when we get into the spoiler stuff. But yeah, and so the main cast for this show has been pared down because of all the Next Generation people who have come back. So like the only returning people are Picard, or Patrick Stewart, Jerry Ryan, Michelle Hurt, who plays Rocky. So those people also show up in this episode. They're doing good stuff as well in this episode also. So it's a really good episode. I almost wish that they dropped the 2 episodes together, because the 2 episodes under our new rating system that we're doing, like I would say the 2 episodes together, if there was like a double feature, I would rate them both like our road trip was like, which is like our 8 out of 10. But just this episode is, I would have kind of rated a dinner party. Like I would definitely want to talk about this because I watched it several times in preparation for this review, but I would have watched it several times anyway because there's so many Easter eggs. When we get into the spoiler part, I'm probably going to miss a bunch of them, but I'll talk about some of them when we get into some stuff. But there's so many Easter eggs, and it's just so comfortable, the little adventure that they embark on. There's like mystery, and there's also the way that it ends is a very dramatic way to end the episode where you want to see what's happening next. So yeah, it's a really good episode. How would you rate it?
I think it was definitely more of, I'd say an 8 out of 10.
Yeah, 8 out of 10 for you? Yeah. Like I said, I think if I had to rate it, it'd be 7 for me, but that's just because I know what's coming. Yeah, it's a really good...
The camaraderie between Picard and Riker, but also like the acknowledgement, I think, that they're older.
Yeah.
And so I enjoyed that they weren't pretending to be... They're doing like stuff that they would have done back in the day, but also the recognition that we got to go about this differently.
Yeah, there's some jokes at their expense that we can get into. I don't want to spoil the jokes if you're watching this for the spoiler-free portion. So yeah, really it's difficult to talk about without actually getting into it. And I don't want the entire review to be too long, so we can just jump into get to it. So without further ado, after you're enjoying the conversation, please like, share, and subscribe. We really appreciate it. And without spoilers ahead. All right. So what do you want to talk about?
I guess we can start talking about Dr. Crusher.
Yeah, that opening scene. Yeah. Opening scene with there's like a title card that says the 25th century, which I had to go back and check, and I guess it is the 25th century because season 2 ended at 2401. So I guess they haven't jumped very far in the future. But yeah, we find her in the middle of a nebula, not listening to music. I think that's the music of the show that's in the background. But like she's listening to this log from the interaction that the Enterprise had with the Borg when they were hiding in the nebula. So it's this old log from a card, and you see all this memorabilia. Similar to the scattered along all over Picard's study at the vineyard. Some orchids, some pearls. I'm not sure where the pearls are from. Some drama masks, which harkens back to her saying that she did like drama when she was
on the ship.
Yeah, and she was teaching some stuff, like some drama stuff. Their medical away team on Korkoli 5. I'm not sure where that's from. I'd have to go and look and see what episode that's from.
Eradicating the Phyrox plague on Korkoli 5 and will soon be preparing to leave orbit and proceed to our next mission.
But you will also see Commander Jack Crusher, her deceased husband's, like a case with his name on it. So yeah, a lot of interesting like memorabilia from the old ship, Easter eggs there. So yeah, and then immediately after that, she's like found us, and you see her going into like warrior mode.
Yeah, which is unusual, right? Because you didn't get to see, I think for a lot of the women characters, you just did not get to see them be that tactical. Yeah, so I think seeing her much older than the last time you would have seen Dr. Crusher, just automatically going into defensive mode.
Yeah.
And almost being on the offense, really. Like, she was very aggressive.
She was aggressive, yes. She was very aggressive. And she, like, when I first watched the scene, it was like she's not stunning them. No, she's vaporizing.
Yeah. The first one, I was like, whoa, okay, Dr. Crusher.
Yeah, it was like,
yeah.
Yeah, it's like, it's definitely a change, especially for a doctor. And so Picard and Riker actually note this later on in the episode. They're like, this was a kill shot. It doesn't seem like the Beverly I know. Yeah, she definitely was on a mission, and it looks like she modified the rifles as well to like a larger yield. So yeah, it was an interesting beginning to this. Yeah, it was like kind of what I was talking about before. Like you said, the officers or the cast members, the women cast members didn't get much to do in TNG. They fleshed those women characters out more in DS9 and even more, of course, in Voyager, because the captain was a woman. But I think there was 1 or 2 episodes with Beverly, maybe a couple with Deanna, but I can't remember anyone that wasn't with Deanna. There's one with Deanna that didn't have her to do with her mother when she was basically in charge of it, and shit was cut off. But I think those are the only 2 real episodes where they were the focus. So yeah, even though this is the only part we actually see her in this episode, it was really effective way to open up the episode. Yeah,
and I think it just really sets the tone that whatever is happening, even though like we don't know what is happening yet, but it must be very serious, right? Because if Dr. Beverly Crusher is making kill shots, a lot has changed and a lot has transpired, and that just makes now I'm like, what happened? Who is chasing her? Why? Yeah. Who is this person she's protecting on the ship? Because you see her like prevent a man from coming to her aid. Who is this person that she's willing to defend to the death? But yeah, they really opened up and got your adrenaline going out the gate.
Yeah, and the cryptic message, it was a really effective way to start off the episode and also the season in general, really. So yeah, she sends a coded message to Admiral Picard, Myriad Kodak, which we didn't figure out what that is until later on in the episode. And then we jump after the credits to the Picard vineyard where Jean-Luc is looking at a painting of the Enterprise D, which is very similar to the painting in the dystopian universe where it was like it had all those guns and everything in the second season. I don't remember if the regular painting showed up in the second season. Maybe it did. And maybe that was the indication it was a different universe. Yeah, so we get a shout out here for Geordi, who is apparently the head of the Fleet Museum. I think reading in some online stuff, he's supposed to be a Commodore, so he's the head of the Fleet Museum, so he wants to send the painting there. And Laris tells the person helping out not to send it over. I was actually thinking about, my mind goes in weird places when I'm watching these episodes. What is the motivation for anyone to be a foot soldier or a butler to someone in this society? I can understand like being an ensign in Starfleet because you can rank up, but why would you want to be a butler to anyone? You don't have to do something. Understand?
Picard's still like highly regarded, right? And I don't, to be in service to somebody like that, I think although I do think it still like harkens back to a time where we thought of being like in service to somebody like that differently, but that's certainly like something you don't have to work in this society either, right? So like maybe life on a vineyard is still pretty sweet.
Maybe, yeah. So maybe just helping out a great man,
right?
Yeah. So the status in the society is like what you accomplish. He's accomplished quite a bit. He saved the universe a few times, so yeah, I guess that makes sense.
Just to be close to that sort of greatness. Maybe,
yeah. So yeah, they have a conversation back and forth about whether or not he really needs to put away all this stuff, and she's reaching a point where there's more things behind you than ahead of you. It's like, I'm not a person who needs a legacy. I just want to do adventure. And of course, that moves on to the next scene where he gets the message from Beverly and the conversation with Laris. I don't know. I think they're going to probably do her the same way they did her in the second season. You see her in the first episode,
and then you never see her again.
Maybe see her in the last episode. But
I think this is different. I guess you see her being supportive of him.
Yeah, she was leaving him before, and she's more supportive of him, and he's also more supportive of her. Right? He was going to pack up the vineyard and go to wherever she was going to help out wherever she was doing her career. So and work on supposedly work on his memoirs before this alert from Beverly. Yeah. But yeah, she definitely urges him to go. He says that she doesn't seem, from her experience as an intelligence officer, she isn't paranoid, and she seems like a woman out of options. She's asking specifically for him. Yeah. I wonder if we're going to see Whoopi in this season, but we don't see her. Picard and Riker meet again. So yeah, I'm trying to think of anything from that scene that's particularly, we do hear that the Myriad thing was specifically related to when Picard was Cutis. And the Borg added 3s to everything. So she added 3 to the location that she sent to get the actual location, which is in the rating system. Yeah. And this is where they mentioned that she cut everyone off 20 years ago. Yeah.
And they skip over it, but Riker mentions that Deanna and his daughter Kestra would appreciate time away from him, which I thought was odd, because I didn't think they'd left off on a bad note. But yeah, I guess there's going to be more there, or hopefully there's more there later on in the season.
Yeah, they seem to leave it off on a good note. Like it was very sad losing, I think Dad is the name of the kid, but it seems like they were healing, right? They were all taking time off. He was not retired, but he was taking time off because of the death of the family. And they were just healing as a family. I thought they were okay.
Yeah.
So then we jump to Matalas Prime with Rocky. And they try to give you the fake out here, making you think that she fell off the wagon, that she's come to her addictions again. And she even mentions this to the Orion drug dealer that she's talking to, that her girlfriend left her and she's out of Starfleet. But she's, of course, undercover here trying to figure out some experimental quantum tunneling tech, which we see used later on in the episode to destroy an outpost. And he gives her the Red Lady note here, that something's going down with the Red Lady, which is vague. But I feel like, given what the Red Lady ended up being in this episode, I feel like she should have gotten it a lot quicker. It's a very red
pretty big red lady to forget about.
It's like you are in Starfleet. There's like an outpost, a recruitment outpost here. It has a giant statue in front of it. I mean, she should have gotten there quicker, but whatever. So yeah, then we get to Titan A, which was a Riker's old ship, which is now is a refit Neo Constitution class. I like this ship. I'm not one of those. We talked about this before. There are whole YouTube channels that like break down ships and salivate over them. I'm not there, but I do like a good ship. It's a beautiful ship. And they didn't go all out crazy like Star Trek the movie, like rotating around the ship for 5 minutes, but they did do a nice little rotation around the ship spaced out, above her. So yeah, it was a good ship. And Commander Hansen is the first officer on the ship now. It was interesting. They have all the way that they're getting on the ship is to pretend like they're doing an inspection. So they have all the crews lined up as they come in. They basically have all the founding aliens of the Federation on the lined up there. They have a Tellarite, they have an Orion, they have a Vulcan. I think it was I don't know. I don't think there was an Andorian. Orion isn't really a founding. There was a Trill, and Seven said that the Captain Shaw requested that the dinner, but we should lower his expectations. And then we meet a Forge on the bridge, Sydney Forge, Geordie's daughter, who's a helmsman. So yeah, that's the whole thing. The whole introduction to this was nice. And there's a bunch of people on the bridge who I can mention, but I guess we'll see them later on in the season. They're mentioned in the credits. There's a science officer, Vulcan science officer who's called Tavine. There is a Bajoran tactical officer, which makes me think that now they put the Bajorans in charge of all the tactical stuff, just like the Shaks, just because they were in that long conflict. They're like, it's not like they have a whole lot of Klingons to draw from. They like Worf is sort of like a one-off, so they put Bajorans in charge of all the tactical stuff. And there's a Hellenian communications officer, non-binary. I think last time we saw Helene was like, the episode of Geordie, woman that logged. Yeah, she's a Helene, and they are Helene, the Helms officer. But you don't really hear. They get a couple lines, and they get also some commands from Captain and the Commander, but they don't really get to say or do much in this episode. But they
don't say their faces, and there to the conversation happening between the captain and a Seven, and because I think like the disrespect he shows them is you're like, oh, like this is how you're talking to Jean-Luc Picard. What's happening here, right?
Yeah.
That's an interesting dynamic. But yeah, it was funny like when Seven was like lower your expectations, and then you meet him, and you're just he does not have the same, I guess, respect or admiration for Picard and Riker. I know you guys are always up to something, blowing stuff up, out here being the cowboys of the galaxy. I'm gonna do it on my ship. Totally calls them out. He's like, I don't think he bought their story.
In the dinner, he started off being rude, like you said. Like he invited them to his quarters, and then he started eating before they even got there. And like he said, your reputations preceded you so far into the room, I decided to start without you. Gives him some wine. He's like, Chateau Picard, pour him out like a guy. Again, it's like he was. I don't know if he would have okayed it without Picard slipping up, but I think I just kind of put the death knell in the coffin of him acquiescing to them at all. There's also seems to be a little bit of prejudice against them. Against Seven and also Picard, because he says to her that your loyalty should be with the ship, not with the old friend or former ex-Borg. So he's suspicious of her, which is probably why he makes her call herself Annika. She has no real connection to that name. She's been Seven for most of her life. And he also felt that he's a retired admiral, and Riker might be in active duty or reserve duty captain. He has no chair. He has no command, so they can't make him do anything. And and at this point, they're I don't know what I'm going to do. Of course, the way that they get out of this is Seven.
But she realizes like they're not here for
right. So I think after this, I think we get back to the short scene with Rafi on the La Serena, still trying to figure out the Red Lady thing, but she's also looking at a picture of her granddaughter and talking to her handler. There's this back and forth, and he calls her a warrior. The stolen weapon is an act of war. You are a warrior, and I feel like they're not being very sheepish about who she's talking to with that language, or not masking who she's talking to with that language. It's kind of a weird thing for a person to say. Anyway, then we're back on the Titan. He put them in bunk beds, which was this is one of the times when they're joking at her age. Riker's like, I don't remember having to get up to pee this often back then. Yeah, that was pretty funny. Then they talked to Seven, who is having some reservations about being in Starfleet, even though Picard and Janeway told her that she should, because she has to follow orders from someone like Shaw. She gave the order to change course and also had them fill up a shuttle. So yeah, and of course, as soon as he gets up on the bridge, he says that she's ended her career. So yeah, that's where we leave the Titan. And then we go back to the La Serena and the Red Lady. Yeah, Rachel Garrett. I'm not sure who Rachel Garrett is. Do you remember who Rachel Garrett is?
No, that name didn't ring a bell.
We'll insert it in the video.
Captain Jean-Luc Picard.
Rachel Garrett. How's my ship?
But so we see the center basically drop through a wormhole, and then out of the top of the wormhole, which is new to the Star Trek universe. Wormholes are usually more of a transportation vehicle, but like man-made or human-made wormholes are usually like a Stargate thing, not a Star Trek thing. So yeah.
I also like the way they show it, and I don't know if it was like up to production decision, but you saw it from Rafi's perspective. Like you weren't in the chaos, like you could see, and I think there was a moment of confusion about what exactly was happening because it almost didn't look. It felt or it looked. I don't want to say looked gentle, but
it looked unreal. It was just like
it was so targeted. It's surreal. So just this one thing. So it took a moment to realize what's happening is not happening to this around.
Yeah, it's very targeted. Yeah, it was very targeted. Yeah,
it was very targeted. And then when it drops out of the sky, it's just wait, what is? So it was a very I think and you can see like Rafi just like in shock because we haven't seen it because I don't know that I didn't get the impression that she fully understood what the weapon was capable of until she saw it being used, and so that was also like that level of destruction and having somebody out there with that like the power to just do that, right? No warning, just have this really targeted attack on a place is it raised the stakes, right? And I think knowing like she figured it out too late to do anything about it.
It made her look a little bit bad at her job, but I guess they had to create tension or whatever. But yeah, that was kind of like a weaker part of the episode for me. Like I said, she seemed like she was like the one person who realized that there was something wrong with the androids, and it like destroyed her career. But like she's like given what they have established in previous seasons, it seemed like she would have been smarter or quicker about that.
Or they give her better resources instead of having her sort of on her own. Yeah, is maybe if she had people working with her, like they could have together realized what the Red Lady signified. But yeah, she still seems like she's just out in the hinge
I feel like this
chasing.
is a very big weapon. I feel like they should have sent like a team of. I don't know. Maybe this will be explained later on. But like right now, it doesn't get to see they sent her out by herself to find. Like given how destructive that weapon is.
Yeah. I think it was like all hands on deck. But maybe also it was I guess you don't know how secretive. Maybe a lot of people don't even know the weapon exists. Yeah.
You don't want to necessarily alert too many people of it being gone. It might become a bigger issue that more people find. Yeah, it's true. So yeah, I think that's the last time we see the episode. This is near the end. Yeah, we're in the shuttle with Picard and Riker, and then one of the funniest lines of the episode, Picard says that his hand is starting to ache, and Riker mentions if it's whether or not it's out of fear or just anticipation to see Beverly, and he says both. And he says, "Your hands are stiff. My knees are killing me. So long as we don't have to move or shoot, we should be fine." Classic Riker. So yeah, they go into the ship, and he calls her captain, and he's old habits because I guess they call him captain for so long. And when they mentioned that she did a kill shot straight down, cool, very calculated, efficient. It doesn't seem like Beverly. And he calls him number one, which is the first time he calls him number one in this episode as well, which is again very comforting. And then the guy that she was protecting at the beginning of the episode puts a laser to Riker. We find out that is her son. And then a vessel approaches, and he mentions that each time that they try to escape these people, they had different faces. And then we see the giant ship. That's the end of the episode. But yeah, it's like I said, it's a very ominous end of the episode because the ship is ginormous. So yeah, it's very intimidating. Yeah. It looks like an attack piece basically. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it for the episode. There's some things that I noticed like Easter eggs throughout the episode, like at the very beginning in Picard's study. I think these are things that may have shown up before, but I don't think I saw it before. On his desk, there's that episode where the chase, where his old archaeology professor was trying to find some old civilization, and they figured out that they like all humanoids came from this common ancestor. So like the thing that he gave him as a gift with the people inside was like on his desk, in the study. And there were, of course, lots of other things there, but I think that stood out for me the most. And also in the end credits, there was also something from the Fleet Museum that he mentioned. There's like a schematic of the Fleet Museum that Geordi works at. Currently, Voyager is there, and also the Enterprise A is there, which I thought was interesting. You also see Liam Shaw, the captain's performance evaluation on 7 in the credits at the end. It says Commander, and then it's blanked out. But yeah, it was a good episode. It was a good start to the season.
Yeah.
Any other thoughts? Any other things that you noticed that was interesting?
I didn't get a chance to rewatch it like you did, but I think it just really left me wanting, okay, so Beverly has a son. What's that about? And I guess maybe that explains her 20-year, because they don't explain the 20-year absence in this episode. Because there again, I guess we don't see whatever rift happen. We didn't see that happen.
Picard mentions that they left on bad terms, and then he didn't think the last time she saw her was going to be the last time he saw her. And then she cut herself off. Riker mentioned that she cut everyone off when they were at the Barrington Forward.
Yeah.
She cut off. So yeah, we don't know what's going on with her, but we do know that she was trying to protect based upon the beginning of the episode, and she very efficiently killing people because she locks him in at the beginning of the episode and starts shooting people. Yeah. So
I think they've sort of set it up for
lots of mystery.
Lots of mystery, and I just eagerness to like where the rest of the crew, like when does Geordi get looped in? When does Worf? Because we know they're all gonna show up, and it's just okay. Like how does this sort of team of much older Starfleet officers, like how is this gonna work out? Yeah, so I feel like this season might be the season that fans wanted from the beginning. To some extent, and they just took hell to get there.
Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out whether or not it was Worf season 2. Like season 1, I think people didn't like, but I liked it more than most. But like season 2, it could have been 2 episodes. It could have been like a movie to get a series. It didn't need to be stretched out for 10 hours because it was a lot of filler, and it wasn't 10 hours of good television for me. But I'm glad that we get here, and I really appreciate it. I can't really say anything about the next couple episodes, but this was a really good episode. I think I gave a general, like on Paramount lets us do like general reviews of what we've given, spoiler-free reviews, and I think on Friday I said generally on our page that it's a really good. It's a lot better than season 2. If you were disappointed in season 2, come back. It's not.
But season 2 also started off on a really
the first 2 episodes were good, and then there was like a nosedive after that. There is no nosedive, so I can give you a spoiler-free of the first 6 episodes. There isn't a nosedive after the second episode, and after I watched the second episode, I had to immediately watch the third episode because it was just so good on the second episode. So it's like so there's certain things, I will say this, there's certain things that you have to just go with or you're not gonna like. So I think that they explained they explained the leap that they make in these episodes very well. It could turn some fans off, and I'll just say that because I can't really get to the specifics of why it turned some fans off. And I think it's in the second episode. It's the specifics of that. But I think that decision, because they explain it with character moments and also exposition, like explaining like a very good character moment. Again, I'm being vague because I don't want to spoil 2 weeks in advance. It's really good so far. Like I think it has 10 episodes. I've only seen 6, and my review of the 6 is, like I said, it's not perfect, but it's very good. It's very good. All right, so what did you guys think of the first episode? Let us know. Comment down below, like and subscribe, and we will be back next week with our next review. All right, guys.